Who is Morgan Blackhand? Well, let me tell ya. Morgan Blackhand is a legend of Night City. He is known to many as one of the greatest solos to have ever done it. What is going on, guys? Today we talk some more Cyberpunk lore. If you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing for more. Okay, so a few of my videos lately have been about like lore, and I'm telling you right now it's because I enjoy it. And some of you may be wondering where I'm pulling all this info out of. Like, there are information that I can grab from shards within the Cyberpunk 2077 game. Of course, I can piece together certain dialogues and things like, for example, Jackie talks about Morgan Blackhand. And of course, there's that mission with the Paralysis couple. So everyone kind of thinks Mr. Blue Eyes is Morgan Blackhand. So there's information laying around that I'm trying to piece together. However, just to clear the air, I'm getting a lot of my Cyberpunk info and lore from source books and reference books that are designed to give life to two specific tabletop board games. The older one of the two is called Cyberpunk 2020, and the other, in the more recent version, is Cyberpunk Red. Both games were created by Mike Pondsmith and company, a man that worked closely with CDPR in the development of Cyberpunk 2077. The reason for this, the reason why I use these books as a guide, is Cyberpunk is based off the universe Pondsmith created. And these two tabletop board games have been described as Cyberpunk 2077's prequels. Therefore, the information used to give life to Cyberpunk 2020 and Cyberpunk Red are valuable resources to me and to anyone who may be trying to dig around and find more information about lore within this universe. And this is where I'm getting a lot of my information. It is how I'm able to solve a few of the in-game mysteries. All right, so with that out of the way, let us talk some Morgan Blackhand. He is James Bond. No, Jason Bourne. Or better yet, K from Blade Runner 2049. Get the picture. The dude is a badass. Alas, we must talk about his role. Like I said, these characters are derived from an RPG tabletop game, so understanding his role is actually very important to understanding the character. Morgan Blackhand is a solo. In Cyberpunk 2077, just think of V. Solo is pretty much a merc who does it all. And I quote, "You were reborn with a gun in your hand, the flesh and blood hand, not the metallic weapons factory that covers most of your other arm. Whether as a freelance guard and a killer for hire, or as one of the corporate cyber soldiers who enforce business deals and the company's black operations. You're one of the elite fighting machines of the time of Red." I'm not sure why they don't just call solos merc, but I swear that's what a solo is. So all that street cred we are trying to gain in the game is a way for us mercs or solos to distinguish ourselves. And according to the books, the most distinguished solo ever is none other than Morgan Blackhand. Take this bit of information in. You can order a Johnny Silverhand at the Afterlife bar, but you can't get yourself a Morgan Blackhand. Damn, son, he ain't dead. Yeah, he's out there lurking. I swear, if CDPR messes up his story in the DLC, goodbye, I'm no longer playing. Let's talk about Morgan's past. Honestly, not much is known about his early life, but we do know he participated in the Second Central American War as part of the U.S. Army, the same as Johnny. We are unsure if this is where they meet or if it was just a coincidence that they were both there. After the war, he finds himself without a job doing small gigs here and there. We also find out he had some friends. Even though solos usually work alone, hence solos, Morgan, he was not stupid, and he understood the importance of having allies. And who's a better friend than Raish Bartmoss? The dude can do all the net running tech stuff Morgan isn't capable of. By default, he may have also known Johnny, Alt, Rogue, Spider Murphy, and Shaitan through his friendship with Raish. We'll talk more about them specifically in a mission and a story later on. Aside from his pretty dangerous group of friends, and let's face it, if you were up against these guys, that would be pretty intimidating. Like, you have legends of the afterlife. You have, again, Raish, who pretty much destroyed the net. You have Alt, who wrote Soul Killer and who is now out there lurking in the Black Wall. Of course, we already know Rogue, Johnny, Spider Murphy, again, like another netrunner who's just really known for her stuff, and Shaitan, who I just always think is Colossus. But imagine that group of friends. That is a pretty OP group of friends, if I don't say so myself. Alright, so Morgan was a retired military guy who specialized in demolition. And after the war, no one was hiring. But from what we know, and the amount of times he is praised, it can be inferred that the man was a beast, a true living legend. We do know that he wrote a couple of very good books. The Enforcer's Handbook and Blackhand Street Weapons have been described as a great tool for up-and-coming solos. If anything, Blackhand became that grizzled veteran who doesn't take any apprentices, but isn't the type to keep all the secrets to himself. But he would actually help those he feels that are worth his time and effort. My favorite quote from Blackhand is this: "I see guys walking all the time with big assault rifles slung over their armored shoulders. Dumb. That's like putting a Neo holo sign that says, hey, I'm a solo, shoot me." He obviously has them street smarts. But more than that, he's a professional that some have considered a master of the trade. One of his most famous accomplishments was how well he handled the attempted kidnapping of famous rocker boy Kerry Eurodyne. In this escapade, he faced off against 5 kidnappers. Any solo can kill, but only a master like Blackhand can eliminate a threat and embarrass the group's sponsors. This highlighted Blackhand's skill. He was able to capture all 5 kidnappers without killing a single one. I believe this event took place in 2019. That being said, this may have been just before he started working for Militech. And I quote, "After a few months on the street, I got into a dust down with a local booster lord." And I'm going to assume a booster lord here is some sort of drug dealer. "I flatlined him and went back to my drink. Within 10 minutes, the recruiter from Militech came up to me and dropped a business card. Now I'm a company man." He is Militech's version of Adam Smasher, but unlike Smasher, Blackhand is viewed with more respect and never really called a dog of Militech. The next big event is one most of us are familiar with, and that is the nuking of the Arasaka Towers in 2023. That is right, Morgan was part of this event. This may also have been the event that truly started the Smasher versus Blackhand rivalry. One was working for Arasaka while the other for Militech. I know in the game they make it look like it's a Johnny Silverhand versus an Adam Smasher, but in reality Johnny gets completely mopped by Smasher. It's Blackhand who is better suited to take on this gigantic Borg. While Johnny and crew are inside the tower, Morgan is out doing reconnaissance. He actually informs Johnny that an elite Arasaka group is headed their way, and things are about to get ugly. I made a whole vid about what really went down in the tower, so click here to find out what happens. Long story short, the elite fighting force Arasaka sent included Adam Smasher. In a quick little fight, Johnny actually gets completely taken out by Smasher, while Rogue, Spider Murph, and Thompson are able to escape. Smasher and Blackhand then meet up at the top of the tower ready to duke it out. Here we find Shaitan is still alive and Smasher is holding his biopod. Biopod, I'm not sure exactly what this is, but maybe it's like some futuristic heart, brain thing. I'm just going to assume it's one of those things. Smasher actually uses Shaitan's biopod as bait to force a duel with Blackhand, saying the classic, "if you want him, you'll have to go through me" kind of line. They duke it out running and gunning style. Smasher trying to get Blackhand pinned so he can pounce on him, and Blackhand trying to shoot the hand holding Shaitan's biopod. But the fight is cut short as the detonation of the nuke shakes the entire building. However, instead of just running for their lives, these two heavyweights use this opportunity to jump towards each other at a final attempt to kill their nemesis. Here we are left wondering if either of them makes it out alive. Obviously, as players, we see Smasher in the game. The result of his fighting and his plummet to the wreckage may have been the cause of his completely robotic appearance. And as for Blackhand, like I said earlier, it was stated that you can't order a Morgan Blackhand in the afterlife. This just indicates that he is not officially dead. He is MIA like the Spartan 2s. They never die, they're just missing in action. It is important to take note that it is rumored that Blackhand has been sighted in first wave cities. This was reported from the years 2035 to 2045. So I think it is a safe bet to say that he is alive and just licking old wounds. Now for theories. After reading all this stuff, I no longer think that Mr. Blue Eyes is Morgan Blackhand, and for 3 reasons. Number 1, Morgan is not a techie. He understands basic tech and how netrunners work, but he is not as good as someone like Raish or Spider Murphy. And before someone says, what about Hanako using the doll? She's no techie. Well, surprise, she is actually described to being a techie kind of person. And so much so that she actually is capable enough to tinker with Arasaka's soul killer. So for all these reasons, I do not think Morgan is the techie kind, hence I don't think he's the one controlling Morgan Blackhand. Some may argue maybe Morgan got badly injured and is forced to rely on technology, but I don't see him replacing all his body parts to now become the new Raish Bartmoss. Instead, I see him kind of adding a metallic arm or some sort of robotic leg and some sort of fighting weapon tool that he can use in a hand-to-hand combat. That's the type of person he is, and that's the type of technology I believe that he would use instead of, again, enhancing his brain net running skills. Number 2, based on the information we found about Night Corp and Sandra Dorset, I really think brainwashing and controlling people through the net is more of a netrunner thing to do. Heck, I think it would be more plausible that Spider Murphy is the one controlling Mr. Blue Eyes. Lastly, it just doesn't suit him. He was hired by Militech as their go-to guy, someone in the front lines who will hunt down their enemies. Just again, like, I know they don't treat him like a dog, like maybe how the Arasakas treat Adam Smasher, but Adam Smasher is not the type to be manipulating and controlling people. He's the type of person to be part of the fight. And that's how I view Morgan Blackhand. Yes, he's smart enough to do reconnaissance. Yes, he's smart enough to understand tech and net running, but he doesn't specifically master those skills. If anything, he is like the master of being a solo, which is going out there and doing his job professionally. But there are characters within this game that are dedicated to being a net runner. Like, I don't see him popping up in your holo like how T-Bug does and tries to open doors and unlock things for you. He's not that type of person. He's the person, rather, who is out there trying to steal the merchandise. So again, I just don't think that him controlling Mr. Blue Eyes is something that suits his character. Overall, I think he will definitely make an appearance in the DLC, but I strongly believe, like I said, he is not Mr. Blue Eyes. Of course, I can be totally wrong about this. The writing for the books have left a lot of time for change. Morgan has last been cited in the years 2035 to 2045. That is a 40 to 30 year gap between his last rumored appearance to when we play Cyberpunk 2077. Who knows? Maybe he changed his style and became a netrunner completely. But that is it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. I'm interested to hear the theories and ideas you guys have. Let me know what you think about the things I've said. Do you think Morgan Blackhand is Mr. Blue Eyes, and why? Do you think that Morgan Blackhand is dead or alive, and why? And what do you think about Morgan actually being Smasher's rival and not Johnny, and how the development team in Cyberpunk 2077 kind of tricked us and made it seem like it was a Johnny versus Smasher thing? So I don't know. Write all that stuff in the comment section below. That is it for me in this video, guys. Click that thumbs up, subscribe, and thanks for watching. We'll see ya next time. Bye.